Another year has gone by, and anti-family activists have not given up. Across the nation, we have seen continued opposition to life, religious liberty, traditional marriage, and Judeo-Christian values. However, in the state of Connecticut, 2013 has been a year of hope. Hi, I'm Peter Wolfgang, Executive Director of the Family Institute of Connecticut. This year, the pro-family movement has won several important victories in our state. Through thick and thin, the Family Institute of Connecticut has led the charge, taking the fight to social media, the press, and the Capitol steps themselves. This year, 2013, has been one of the most successful years the Family Institute of Connecticut, I think, has ever had. It began with a bill that required children every few years, both public school children and homeschool children, be assessed psychologically whether or not their parents approved of it, whether or not there was any need for medical indication of it. It especially jumped out at us that homeschooled children were being targeted. When they had the hearing on this anti-parental rights bill, they chose to have it at Wesleyan University, not at the state capitol where these things are normally held, but at Wesleyan University in the middle of a snowstorm. People showed up in the middle of the snowstorm at a location they were unfamiliar with. There was no food for them. They had to go 2 or 3 buildings down to get food. That they stayed for hours and hours and sat through testimony on other bills to make their voice heard on this was very important. So we were able to work with the Public Health Committee and convince them that this bill was overreaching. I was especially pleased with a member of our staff, Nicole Stacy, who testified on behalf of the Family Institute of Connecticut at that hearing. Nicole did a great job, and it was really one of those moments where you could feel the Family Institute's work expanding.
My name is Kathy Ludlam, and I've been active in the disability community for all of my adult life. I just can't thank the Family Institute of Connecticut enough for all of the support that they gave in this past legislative campaign against the Compassionate Aid in Dying bill.
This fight in Connecticut this year on assisted suicide was a real David and Goliath battle, and I'm happy to tell you that David won. The national movement for assisted suicide came into the state of Connecticut. They targeted Connecticut. They saw it as low-hanging fruit, as a place where the national movement could pour in resources and make Connecticut the first state to legalize assisted suicide through the state legislature. We now know, thanks to the good work of Ann Hendershot, she wrote a piece where she explained how George Soros, the liberal billionaire, had actually funded this effort to come into Connecticut and legalize assisted suicide here. What they didn't count on was the Family Institute of Connecticut. We handed out fact sheets. We told the reporters what questions they should really be asking the other side. And the other side's press conference ended up being a failure for them. And then, the day of the hearing, we held our own press conference.
Under 6645, the individual can receive the lethal dose the day that the person receives that terminal diagnosis.
We flew up to Connecticut, a man named Stephen Makochik. He's a law professor, and he is the former civil rights expert for the U.S. Department of Justice. He's an attorney himself. He also happens to be blind with his own seeing eye dog. He cuts quite a figure. And he came to our press conference and he analyzed this bill and he explained why this is the worst assisted suicide bill in the entire country.
Even condemned criminals are entitled to have objective witnesses to ensure that the execution is done humanely. Neither Massachusetts law that was rejected or the Connecticut law requires that somebody objective be present.
And then members of the committee, including legislators who are not normally friendly to the Family Institute, went to the media and admitted that the votes were not even close, that we crushed this bill. I think the work that we did on assisted suicide was some of the best work that I have ever seen the Family Institute of Connecticut do. I cannot be prouder of all of you who helped us in this fight, who contacted your legislators, who came to the state capitol, who donated to our work to make our work possible. Even those little stickers that we wore that said, "Assist Hope, not Suicide." These were you guys that came up with those ideas. This was all of you that helped fund this. the memes that we had on the Family Institute's Facebook and Twitter that you all shared, this helped defeat this bill. This was a great victory for life and for traditional values in Connecticut, and it was all of you that helped make that happen.
My name is Larry Taffner, the Director of Operations for the Family Institute of Connecticut. One of the great gifts the Lord has provided, especially over the last 5 years, has been an influx of young people, young adults in their 20s, on their way to careers. The variety of talent and gifts that they bring to this office, combined with a very inspiring faith and a very sincere hope, they have made significant improvements to what FIC is capable of doing for the sake of the family.
My name is Nicole Stacy. I am a policy assistant here at Family Institute. Being an employee here has taken me a little outside of my comfort zone and stretched me to do things that I never conceived of myself doing. What I have done in the time that I'm here is things like do research on issues, present testimony in front of committees of our legislative representatives, and it's been a little terrifying at times, but I'm definitely a better, a more insightful, a stronger person for that experience.
Hi, my name is Jen Landry, and I found out about the Family Institute of Connecticut in 2004 or 2005 when I was either a freshman or sophomore in college. I felt very alone in the culture war, and so finding out about the Family Institute of Connecticut when I was in the earlier part of being in college was such a relief, you know, to find other like-minded people who are actually out there fighting the battle. And it was just a huge relief to me where I didn't feel alone anymore.
That feeling that you're alone, that you're crazy, that maybe you should just give up is not a reflection of reality. It's a solidarity that we have together, that we're not in the fight alone.
Family, religious liberty, Judeo-Christian values. Since 1989, Family Institute of Connecticut has been on the front lines in defense of these American principles. Without a doubt, we have seen great success in 2013, but our opponents won't be going away anytime soon. Because of your support, Family Institute won't be either. Thank you for all the help you have given us over these past 24 years. With your donations, we can achieve many more victories in the months to come.